Rabbi Shlomo first here temporarily substituting for Rabbi Levitt. It's on Gemora Shir and Bava Kamma, Daf Mem Ches Amud Aleph.
That's where I am. I don't know how far we've gotten, but
Let's see, where
I'm
you
up to
are.
Mem Ches Aleph.
Where should we start?
That's where I am.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I'm in the middle of the page.
Where should we start?
I don't know. I've got where we've gotten. I've gotten up to. I don't know if you've gotten up to. Lou. Is after the two dots where it says Ichni Shor Lachatzer Ba'alvai.
The two dots.
There are two sets of two dots, not the first set of two dots. Down the second set of two dots.
Hachnis?
Yeah, Hachnis.
Hachnis. Okay, I think I can deal with that. Hachnis Shoro L'Chatzar Ba'al Habayis.
Right, so someone brought his animal, his ox, into a courtyard of somebody else.
This is quoting from the Mishnah.
Yeah.
So I read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rava said, Hichnis Shoro L'Chatzer Ba'al Habayis Shelo B'Rishus. He brought his ox into the courtyard of the owner of the courtyard without permission. The chafer ba boros sikin umearos, and dug pits, ditches, or vaults in the courtyard.
Okay.
Baal.
So again, let's just review again what happened. So a person brought his ox into a domain, a chutzner.
The ox dug them, I see.
Right, and it was without rishus. And what did it do? While it was there, it dug moros, pits, sifim, and moros. Now what happens?
Baal Hashur Chayiv the owner of the ox is obligated if there's damage to the chatzer. For the damage to he damaged the courtyard by digging this stuff. So the owner of the ox is liable. Ubal chatzer chayiv ziknei chabur. Ooh, that's weird. It's the owner of the courtyard is liable if there's damage from the things that the ox dug.
That's we'll have to understand that, right? Good.
That's hard to understand. Af al gal, even though Mar said, that Master said, Ki yireh ish bor. If a man digs a pit, velo shor bor, and not if an ox digs a pit. So, even though we have this statement from some rabbi that the fact that the pasuk says a man specifically, it could have just said if a pit is dug, I suppose. It didn't have to say ish. Therefore, it implies that an ox digging a pit is not going to be resulting in somebody's liability. Hacha here, kevan is lay lahaicha lemaluye. Since that there is here, I guess an obligation to fill
Right, good,
the pit.
good.
So there's an obligation on the owner to fill the pit. Below ka malge, and he didn't do it. He didn't fill it up.
Didn't fill it up, right?
Kaman de charye dame. It is as though he dug it. By not filling it up, he became liable. This is though he dug it. Just like we say, because we're not acting properly, the base of Mikdash is not rebuilt. It's like we destroyed it.
Very good. Very good point.
Wow. So that implies that there's some kind of a time, I suppose.
What do you mean by a time?
That, in other words, let's say the ox digs the pit, and 5 seconds later somebody comes in and trips on it.
Yeah.
So you say he didn't have time to, it was not reasonable.
There's a certain,
You have to have a certain amount of time to notice it and fill it in.
Obviously, right.
Okay.
So yeah, let's review. Let's go back, start from the beginning. Just get a whole picture of what's going on.
Okay, so our Mishnah says that someone brought an ox into the courtyard without permission, and now we're discussing that. Rav says if the ox dug pits or ditches in the courtyard, the owner of the ox is liable to pay the owner of the courtyard for the damage to the courtyard. And the owner of the courtyard is liable to pay for damages if someone damages himself on the pits. And this is true even though we have a statement that the pasuk says if a man digs a pit, he's liable for damages. And that would imply that if a boar digs a pit, there's no liability.
Ox. The boar can't dig a pit. The ox digs the pit.
What did I say?
The boar digs the pit.
The pit digs the pit.
Yeah.
Boar, it's shore and boar. It's like it's
Right. If the shore digs the boar, there's no liability. That's the implication.
That's right.
However, since the owner is obligated to fill in the pit, if he didn't fill it in, it becomes as if he had dug it himself.
Okay, so you see here a special din that a person, even if it's in the Kiddush here, it's even it's in his own rishus, you know.
And the guy didn't have permission.
Right.
So you might say, well, who told you to come in and dig a pit? Why am I responsible?
Yeah.
You owner of the ox, you should fill in the pit.
Yeah.
Especially since the owner of the ox is chayav.
But the question is, I guess maybe we'll all get more into it. There's got to be a question of a certain knowledge, because otherwise, if he didn't came without permission, even if he doesn't know the pit's there, why should he be responsible? Here, he's responsible for not filling in, but why would he fill in? He wouldn't even know that the pit's there. So there has to be some sort of understood concept that he knows that it happened.
Yeah, we have.
Because if it didn't happen, then that person should be an honest from him. Because he did not know to fill it in. Why would he fill it in? I'm going to go, I don't know it's even there. The ox came into my property and did it.
Right.
Right.
So there has to be some sort of knowledge of it happening. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Right. I agree.
Okay. Let's see, any Rashi's here? Yeah, a few Rashi's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chatzir,
Chatzir, Chayiv,
Chayiv,
Nizkei,
Nizkei,
Habor.
Habor.
So now Rashi's going to tell us a few things behind the scenes over here.
Okay. Im hefker, if it's ownerless, reshus
He made it. This is the Balachatzer. Hefker is Rishus. That's part of it.
im hefker reshuso. If he made ownerless his courtyard.
Right.
Gav al gav, siv ki yichre ish bor velo yikre shor bor. And even though it is written when a man digs a pit, and it's not written where a shore digs a pit, Hanimili, these words, bebor, I don't know what this
Rishus
is.
Rabbi.
What?
Rishus Rabbi.
A pit in the public area, delav Aliyah,
Aleha.
Aleha, that there's not concerning it D-Day, Rame, Le Malye, Le Malve, Le Malve,
Lemalui.
Le Malui. I don't know what Le Malui
To
is.
fill it up.
To fill it up. Okay, so if there's a pit which is dug by a shore in the Rishus Harabim, there's no one to fill it up.
Well, it's not. It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It's
It doesn't
not-
fall on him
it's not
the
a
responsibility to. It's not
No.
upon him. It doesn't rest upon him the responsibility to fill that pit up because the shore dug it in Rishus Harabim. What made this case different was it was being done in a Rishus Yachid. It was being done in a private domain in the Baal Chatzer's place. So that's why the shore that Ish, they're talking about that. He's saying that pasuk of that pasuk that says if an Ish digs a pit and not a shore digs a pit, that rule only holds true in a Rishus Harabim. It doesn't hold true in a Rishus Yachid. So even if the shore digs a pit, he would be responsible.
So what was the beginning? It said if he makes his Chatzir hefker, then he gets out of it?
No, that's one of the weird rules.
That's why he's chayiv, because now his chutzah becomes like Rishus Harabim. Right? If he had kept it, meaning that we don't see that from the Gemora, right? But because you are all asking the question, why should a person in his own rishus? Let's say a shore didn't come in. Let's say a shore didn't come in and dig the pit. He was digging his own pit in his own rishus.
Right.
Someone someone came in with that rishus and fell into the pit in his own rishus. Would he be chayiv?
Yes.
No.
Which case you talking about?
My chutzner, I dug the pit. Plony comes in with that rishus, falls into my pit.
I guess, but I still put a hazard in the place. So I'm
He's
not
not-
sure.
It's my rishus.
He's not chayav because he had no.
It's my
It's
rishus.
private.
My rishus, but I can't keep roller skates in my courtyard. Can I keep my backyard. I can't keep roller skates in my backyard. Guy comes in.
Okay, so yeah, so
A guy that comes in once and jumps over the fence, falling on the roller skates.
right.
I'm chayiv.
Okay, so you
I
wouldn't.
mean, public, but I mean.
So you wouldn't be chayav.
Wouldn't be chayiv.
So-
So the question
so-
is, how is if the shore comes in with that rishus, digs a pit, how can I be chayiv?
That's all these crazy cases. That's what
No,
we're
so
talking about.
the case
So
is
yes, it
that
has to make it hefker. If it
it has
doesn't
to
make
be
it hefker,
hefker, right?
because once it makes it hefker, he's turning it into a Rishus Harabim.
Why would he make it hefker? Why would he make his private property hefker?
We always go with the worst cases in every house.
So it's just giving us a bizarre case to make a point, but it's not really realistic.
No, there is somewhere else that we learn about this concept, and I guess maybe that's what Gemora is going to bounce back upon, is there's a whole concept of if he built, he made the whatchamacallit, he had his own property, and he had a pit on it, and now he makes it hefka, he's got a problem about that board.
Yeah,
He hasn't really mafkired, so to speak, the board.
That's right.
That's the problem with the
The
board.
property
You
around
can't just
it.
say, this is all, I don't care about it anymore. Something's going to happen. It's now somebody else's fault. You can't do that. Once the hazard was created there, hefkering your property doesn't remove the status of board from it.
I think according to Rabbi Akiva, that's what the Torah is talking about. It's talking about that specific case.
What specific case?
That a person had a backyard, and then he dug a pit in it, and after digging the pit, he now relinquished property rights to the backyard and made it in public domain.
So now he's guilty of having dug a pit in the public
That's
domain.
right. That's right.
Okay, but this is not our case. Our case is where a shore digs the pit.
Right.
So now we said the owner is obligated to fill in the pit,
Why is that?
and that's why he's liable.
Because he didn't.
But
do
if he
that.
makes it hefker, then it's not his property. So why is he liable to fill in the pit?
No, that's all.
Well,
It's
that-
still a pit.
That
It's still a
is,
pit.
that is why he's liable, because in his own property, if it was owning property, he is not obligated to fill in his pit. He can have a pit in his own property, but you can't make a board Rishus Harabim. You can't make a pit in the in the
But he
public
didn't
building.
make it, the ox made it.
Right.
So
Now,
why do we say he is obligated to fill it in when he didn't make it?
because he was
And it's,
mafkir.
and it's a public area.
He was mafkir. And we're assuming that the hefker takes place after the shore came in to the domain of the Baal HaKodesh. Then the shore came, again, let's take one step at a time. The shore came in without Rishus to the Baal, to the Chutzner of the Baal.
Right.
The shore, while it was there, dug a pit. Right?
Right.
The Baal now, at this point, is going to Mafkir's property.
Right.
Right? So it's like he's mafking a boar in Rishus Rabbi. Doesn't really matter how the boar got there. There's a pit in his property, and now he's making his property into a public.
So by mafkering it, it's as though he dug it.
Yeah.
It's basically saying that it's kind of like you can't get out of the fact that it's like looking at the situation and saying, on my property, this shore dug a pit. I got I don't want problems now, so I'm going to mafker it. It lets you know you can't just get away with mafkering and saying, that won't be a problem anymore because I'm going to mafker it. It's not mine anymore. No, but the pit's there, and the pit would still be
Right, but
considered
look
yours.
at it the other
And
way.
the pit would still be considering yours, even though.
What if
the
he doesn't
dug-
know the pit's there?
I don't think that's. I don't think this. That's where I think. I think we have to get to some point where if he didn't know what's there, how would he know to fill it in? So that's a whole.
So is he
different, that's a
obligated-
different thing. It's a different situation. So
When
is
he
that-
wants to mafkir his property, is he obligated now to go search around and check its status?
Before
and make sure-
before his mafkir, he has to fill in the boar. He has to make sure he's not putting any
He has to go find the board
stumbling
first.
blocks. Yeah.
He has to go examine the entire property and make sure that there's no problems with what he's making public.
Right.
Okay.
One second. Yeah. Okay. This is all coming out from Rashi, right? The Gemora doesn't tell us about this.
Right, this whole thing about the Rosh Hashanah was Rashi.
Right.
Well, that's Rashi.
They have-
Trying to explain how it could work. It wouldn't work if you didn't have Rashi's comment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, next Rashi.
Yes.
Hacha kevan deis le malhuya. Makme de lif kara.
Mak means we establish it, meaning we set up the case to be the lifkiri, that it was the property was made ownerless.
Okay. Daha, that this bore D-Day, who? This bore, it's his.
It says, right, even the shore, even though the uninvited ox dug the pit, nevertheless, this pit now belongs to him.
Right, because we established it as Hefker.
Right
That's what we just said. Okay.
there. Good.
V'chi F-car? F-car.
Hefker, from Hefker, meaning ownerless.
And when it's ownerless, Basar Hachi, after this, no saying Tikle Tikala B'Rishus Harabi. So after this, it gives something to the public area. What's
It's a hazard.
Tikle? What?
It's a hazard. It's a
A
problem.
hazard.
Right,
Oh, it places a hazard in the Rishus Harabi.
right.
Oh, okay. So that's basically what we just said. If we just read the Rashi,
Good. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to get going though, because it's 12 o'clock.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Right. This is showing-
Wish me Hatzlacha.
Yerushalyim.
Thank you. When I go to the doctor, I get worried these days.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See you tomorrow.
Okay, concession.
Keep practicing. You just take it. Work that. Yaakov knows it's called scatting.
Scatting?
Scatting. Scatting is I did never.
Or when the jazz players
Oh, there you go.
do their, yeah. No, I only remember because Yaakov said it the other day.
Oh,
when
did
I was here.
something? Yes, there's something.
Can't take credit. Okay, go to it.
Yeah. So Rashi's teaching us a lot about this Gemora that we wouldn't have guessed on our own, right? This whole concept of being half mafkiring it, and we wouldn't have thought about that on our own, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the only case you're going to end up with.
Because how is it going to be?
Otherwise, how long
going to
would
be
the Balakos
chayiv?
be chayiv?
How is Balakos to be chayiv? I mean, if it's a bor, it has to be a bor shusarabi. Okay. Let's continue on if you like.
Yeah, let's see where we're at.
Yeah, sure.
If Omar Rava says, okay, Ichli Shor Lachatzer Balabayim, Shemo Bereshus. So if he entered into his ox without the Balachatzer without permission,
Right.
Zik et Balabayim, and he damaged the Balabayim, or the Balabayim Huzak Bo, or the Balabayim is damaged by it.
Oh.
Well, sounds the same thing.
Yeah.
No. It's the two ways. One way is it doesn't matter. We're assuming this ox came in. So one way is the ox does damage to somebody damages the Balabayit.
In his chutzner.
In his chutzner. The other way is the Baal Yabala damages that ox that came in.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. It's both ways. He'd say, I don't know what it is, chayik, because I want to be chayik, because it's a chuzak. Oh, let's see. Oh, here it is.
I'm Rava.
That's the Russian thing.
Yeah.
Chuzak, that's the second one. Shenit nitakel, that he like trips on. So it's the Balabayit is still getting damaged.
Yes.
But one way it's a different type of damage. And the object that the shore does the damage, the other way he hurts himself on the object. On the objects, like slipping, tripping, whatever.
Right.
That type of thing. And he's chayiv. Chayiv is the Baal shore brought it in without permission.
Good.
Okay. Now we get to a different case. So that's standard, that's fine. Yeah, but it says if it rovates, it's pater.
Oh.
So now here's this question of what does it mean that it's like crouching down?
Right.
If you crouch down, it would be pater.
Right. Samara Papa.
See if the Rashi will go on.
Okay.
Do Rashi.
Do Rashi. Okay, do Rashi.
Do Rashi.
So Rashi's already telling you that it's a Hava meeting here, right?
Yeah.
Rav it's part.
Okay. So Rav potter. It says Rav crouches out. He be potter. Kalkasaita. You might have thought Hashta here. Ravatz. He crouched down. The shiber keli, it broke his utensils of the guy, or nitakel bar, he tripped on it.
Yes.
Balabayit.
Oh, tripped on it.
The Balabayit tripped on it.
Yes.
After it crashed down. He's going to trip on the animal, or the animal is going to crouch down.
By crouching down, it's going to crush it. It's going to crush the utensils.
Crush the utensils.
Yeah.
Okay. From the place again?
Yeah.
You said the Rav's potter.
And again, Amarav, he can sure, Amarav, he can sure,
Okay, when you show him the Ravaba's part, there's a question. It's like, and is it really true that when he crouches down, he be putter? Okay. So we're not curing about the crouching down putter.
Right.
I guess this is going to go more answers, but isn't this relate to, you know, shore below, chamor below, you know, that type of thing, shore below that type
Karen,
of thing?
it could be Karen, could even just Karen.
Okay.
Have to see Kavana Lahazik, have to see what it, so that's what the Gemora is asking,
Okay.
right? That,
Should he be put? Why?
yeah.
Why should he be? Why should he put it from crouching down? Shouldn't he be high from crouching down?
Right.
Because that's what Rav is saying. Rav is saying he's putter. What he's doing damage? Why should he be putter? He should be high.
Right.
Omer Rav Papa, my Rava. What does it mean? Crouch down. Sharbitz, Tlalim, the neat nefu, kelav shel balabayit.
Well, what happened here?
So he crouched
In his
down
crouching.
and this guy made some excrement.
Right.
And he dirtied up the kelim of the balabayit.
Right.
So that's the kind of damage we're talking about. Didn't break it. He basically made it dirty.
Right.
So in that category, what's the story there? It's a different story. It can be putted, yeah?
Right.
Okay,
Why, so we have to understand, why should there be a patur in that?
I think that's part continuing. The Havik, because this is Galalim, when he
Oh,
makes these this pile of excrement there, and it's a bore. He's creating a bore when he makes the excrement. V'lo matzinu bor shechayiv bo et kelim. In bore, you're not chayiv a bore. You're not chayiv on kelim.
Kalim.
That's what I'm saying. Bore, you know, it's from that chamor
Is
v'lo
a
shor.
right.
There's a jor chamor v'lo shor v'lo adam.
Right.
Chamor v'lo kelim.
Right.
And so that's what we'll do. It's that thing. So he's not responsible if he damages the kelim. If he damages the person, it's one thing. But the boards don't work for damaging kelim. It shouldn't be chayiv. He could be putter.
Good.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know, that's a very long Rashi coming up. I don't know if I should continue with Shmuel or if that Rashi only does Rav.
Let's see. Let's do the Rashi, I think, before we go to Shmuel. See this whole, let's get the picture on what's going on in this.
Rashi is the neat
Nefu
kilo,
kelo.
dirties up his kilo. La'acha mikani, after this. The dafka kelo, and it really has to only be utensils. Avalu, but himself, Chuzak, if he would damage himself, he would be chayiv. It's only kelim that the thing goes. Baal Ashur, below Katrina law, he wouldn't be exempt from it. Mishum Ishbor, because it's a man that makes a bore. Below shore bore, and not a bore, and a shore doesn't make a bore.
To be chayav.
Right. The call in all of these. The Have in this, the day, the Sha'at, and the Fila. And this is talking about the time of it happening, which means not like he had a chance to fill it up. We're talking about the exact time of it occurring. If there's time to clean up, it's something else. It's considered Achar Fila.
Good.
So the Shas Fila is the time of the incident. Kigon Galalim, like the dropping the excrement. Kigon Shenafla Gamlo, his camel fell down. V'lo Hamido, he
Pick it up. Then in that
You're talking about the
case,
feeling, the time when the time occurred.
right, I mean, it obviously has to have a fair amount of time to have been able to pick it up, and he did. Right.
Michayiv, we make him chayiv, right? Yishum bore because of a bore. Va'achal gav, even though the ainul lo pray, even though he didn't dig it.
Inu lo kroy.
He
No, that he didn't dig it, right?
didn't dig it. El hagamel, the camel that created the bore by crouching down. Korchu created the boar. Kavan, since it was shot in the field, time it fell down, it was his. Va'aleah, Slokea, and it's up to him to remove the difficulty from it.
Yeah.
Kammo, that was the Kammo that it was created.
Right.
Ihu, Dami, it was like. And even though the mafia, we'll go back to the mafia, even though he wasn't trying to get out of it by making mafkiring it, but after then, below dummy, and this is not like Lishoro, the ox, Shechafar, or that dug the pit in Rishus Arabi, the Chafira that he dug it, Lavdi Day, it wasn't his. Ul Dalio.
This is a pale.
Pale.
It'll be another case. We're going to get to another case.
I'm saying it. And the Dalio, the pale, Hanika, that's tied to the regal hatarigol, that's tied to the foot of the chicken,
Rooster, right?
of this rooster. It's going to go around trying to knock things around as it moves its foot. It's got tied. Me'elov on these, the Dalio, the pale, Lavdi Day. It's not his.
Right.
It's not his tail that was on the chicken. Okay.
Good.
Next Rob, I think this next Rashi's,
The next one's going on. Yeah, okay.
I don't think so.
No, you have to go further into Gemora, right?
Okay, so that's Rob's opinion. Look. Now, we have the opinion of Shmuel. Hanicha l'Shmuel. This is good. This makes sense according to Shmuel, the Omer that says, called Kakala Borhu, that all of any hazard is considered a bore. And the Rav, Rav doesn't say it, it's not true. The Omar Ad de Mafkiele, only until when it's considered a bore, only until when one makes it ownless. And after it makes it ownless, then I guess he's off the hook.
Right.
Because it's still, even then he wouldn't have to, because it's Kalim, it's not a person, it's not
Right.
it's a different case. Right.
Okay.
My Ikalamema, what is there to say? Omre Stam, that they say, Stam Glalim, which is a plain excrement, Afkuri Mafkil, that he's able to mafker it.
The assumption is that glolim are always ownerless. No one in general is going to be taking ownership value of the excrement that this animal leaves in the shoes around.
Okay, but that's basically going. Isn't that the Rishus Rabin though? And that's in the Rishus Rabin though.
Right. What it would be?
Would it be the same thing in a part of the
Yachid? Good question. Good question.
I mean, that's a way out of him getting injured by it. He'd say, well, it wasn't mine. I didn't know it's got to be hopeless.
A good question.
I guess, that's what maybe we have the known situation. I don't know.
Right. A couple of side notes on this. One second. Only the Aleph. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to see it. So we'll have to deal with that point. Yeah.
Then Rabbi comes and says, Nichnas l'chatzer ba'al bayis, lower shoes, he came to the chatzer with ba'al shoes without permission. V'chuzak et ba'al bayit, damages the ba'al bayit. With the ba'al bayit, chuzak ba'al, the damages damaged by it, that trips over it. chayiv. Same thing we had before. He's chayiv. But chaziku ba'alabayit is pater.
The damages done by the balabayas, he'll be party for.
He damages what by the balabayit?
Any damages, right,
Yeah.
that were done
By the balabayit
in his rishus,
will be pater.
they'll be party.
Fine. Okay. These Rashi should go over Hazik. Three, it's called damage. Ben mikven ben she'emik. It doesn't matter if it had intention or if there was no intention in doing it. Umihu, and however, the Yadayim, he did it with his hands. Right?
So what happened here, be a dying?
Well, the digging of the pit is what it
That
says.
was dying.
This isn't going back to the dwelling. There seems to be something else here.
Something new here. One
It
moment.
looks, is it going back? Is it?
Again, what is this? I think this is Amarava. Hichnis Chatzer Balabay, Shlo Beshish. Yep, well, it might be a new thing.
Seems different.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, this is something brought down Agav. It's a similar case, but so let's maybe not do this. Maybe you want to do a review of the previous. Let's go on now, just now. Or you want to continue on? There's
Yeah. I see the next one is getting to what I'm saying though.
Yeah, okay.
Let me finish the one there.
Good.
Because then it says the putter, but then when Rav Papa says lo rin ella de lo yadaba. So here's the case. Only if he didn't know about it. So it's adding that part on.
Right.
Well, yadabe izu balabai he would be chayiv. He would have known.
We
So
knew
there is something here. There is up to the knowledge case.
Right.
And that's adding on the knowledge case here. So does the knowledge case, the Rav Papa that he added on here, would that apply to the other case above? So it's like going further, saying what you said before, but adding a little extra piece to it about knowledge. And then the Rav Papa is saying, of course, if you knew about it, then you'd be high. And that I see as an issue about the concept of having another filling up. How would he know not to fill it up if you didn't have that? If you didn't have that information. And then the reason of Rav Papa, my time is Rishut Amla. You could say to him, Nichi, it's good. The Islay Rishut Lafuki, that you have permission. That I have permission to come in. Lazuke Le Lecha Rishus. Did I have permission to damage you, to damage me?
I mean, permission to come in, yes. Permission to damage did you have issues for that? It's one of these basic questions that similar to the question you had rishus to come in, but did you have rishus to damage?
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's an assumption here that coming in with rishus is one thing, but that's not going to change the din, the halakha of damages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was this brought in for? he's high. His Balabais potter. His Balabais. Why, if the Balabais damaged the sword, should be potter? Rapapa, lo many other the low Haviyada. Didn't know. Haviyada, his Balabais is high. If you knew the Balabais damaged, then he's high. My time. Shudamale, needy, slave, Shusay.
It's kind of like, the concept of, that there's an onus involved if he damages him and he knows he's there.
Yeah.
And once he knows there, then it's a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
You should avoid it.
Sure. Okay.
Are any of these Tosfos useful here?
Just looking. For the, this one ish bor below shore bor. You know anything?
Yeah, Ish Bor Lo Shor.
You tell me if you ask.
Above, Trinin, Kamma, he's putted about the camel owner.
The owner of the camel, we had a case over there in Chaf Beis, Amid Aleph.
Yeah, didn't get up.
Yeah, oh.
They
Right,
said that, they didn't come up.
right. Over there, we spotted him. Shlo Sichsacha.
Sichsach. Sichsach.
Actually, this might be different. You know what this case is talking about? This case where the camel was carrying pishtan, and it ignited on from a candle that was in the Yerushalyim, and it went, and the camel went and burnt down the house there. That's what the camel didn't it didn't run back and forth.
Move on to Omer. Aisha, it's his fire. He's shooting money. It's like his fire. It's like his money. For love to locate, it doesn't read ish for low shore it is. Okay.
So what is it?
It's ish though.
Oh. So over there, that's according to the Madhum Eishus Ushum Ramon, right? The person is chayev on Eish because his object is doing the damage. Just like Eish is considered to be the person's object, he's responsible for any object of his that goes and does damage. So therefore, right, that's why the Balabais is putter over there when the camel didn't run back and forth, because that wouldn't be considered his moment. It just like stood there, and the ignition of the fire took place. Avogad lo kasev, even though lo kasev ish, lo kasev, even though it doesn't kasev ish eish lo shor eish, even though it didn't say that, it didn't have a specific pasuk which you were learning out that it has to be an ish eish lo shor eish. The only eish can be chayav from is an eish that's created by a person. So, and here we're saying ish bor lo shor bor. So he's supposed to sort of asking a question based on a parallel case over there we had in Chaf Beis. We had a similar drasha, or better not, better put it this way. There was a drasha that our Gemora is making that could have been parallel to another Gemora, right? Our Gemora said ish bor lo shor bor. Meaning only a person who digs a bor is chayev, not a shor if it digs a bor is chayev, right? So the question is, why didn't it say over there in the previous case with the camel that it was a drasha of ish eish below shor eish, meaning it's only a person who creates fire, does damage with fire, not if an animal does damage with a fire, right? Omer, the answer is
custom there. Now also it's written, Shalayim, he has to pay. They have air from the fire that was caused. Et ha'pe'era, the mashma, the meaning dafka, ke shibaber atzmo hu b'shem. He does it, himself that he has to pay.
right. Dafka kishamar atzmo hu l'shon. Dafka, if he himself is going to create the fire, he's going to actually do the creation of the fire. There, I think the answer is like this. There, we didn't have to bring a drasha like we brought over here, ish bor v'lo shur bor, because over there he has to be the one who's marver the ish. Marver meaning he is the one who's creating the fire.
Right. Well, that was the Chanukah story in the Rosh Hashanah.
Right.
The camel loaded with the pishtim
That's
walked by the Rosh Hashanah and the pishtim got on fire from the Chanukah.
Right.
So the question is, should the guy the Chanukah have to pay for the guy's pishtim that he from the camel going there? But who told the camel to go so close to the store? There's Rosh Hashanah. He's allowed to walk over Rosh Hashanah. So it's a whole.
Right. So you didn't need that drasha. Meaning, I think those questions basically is why did if our Gemora is making a drasha ish bor v'lo shur bor, why didn't the Gemora over there make a drasha ish eish v'lo shur eish?
Right.
And the answer is you don't have to make that kind of a drasha over there, because there, eish has to be that it's coming from a person. It's great. Okay.
Yeah, just go.
Fine. It's a shame. Next time.